Emotional situations, they need to be dealt with. Vedanta will help. As Swamiji says, the Vedanta is a great psychological help. But you need to be honest, sincere. And then when something comes up, look at it, say, hey, this is an opportunity. I never thought about that about myself. So then I can then start dealing with it. That's why there's counseling. In other words, there's a one-to-one. A person like myself is at the disposal of anyone in case they need to run things through. And it's just like going to a doctor. You can undress yourself completely because a person will not judge you, will not, the person will actually, that's the beauty of this thing here. Now, here in the classes, we try to touch this in a very general sense, see? But then there's occasions in which human beings like yourselves, they call me and we spend time because there are things that need to be looked at, either in writing or whatever it is. Because one of the things that should come out of these classes is that somehow I look at some situations that need to be addressed about my life, that somehow become like nuts in my heart, as it were. And I need to somehow bring them out, and so I can actually dissolve the nuts. It's nuts, like nuts, like that. So if I am sensitive, if I have too many buttons, I better do something. Because I can't live like that. If I have a sore, I need to take care of it. Go to the doctor and say, so it always hurts. Change my shoes, or tell me what to do, or get medicine or whatever. Anyway, psychologically, you have to do that. Okay. All right, so going back to the same thing, you see, this knowledge, which is of the nature of a discriminative understanding between the real and unreal, Atma, Anatma, Viveka, Jnana, is opposed to ignorance. Thus, when self-knowledge takes place, self-ignorance goes away. So now we know what he's talking about, self-ignorance. It's the obliviousness of who I am. The obliviousness of who I am. I know I am, and I have branded myself to be something, and the one that I have branded myself to be is, look at this, is limited, time-wise, space-wise. I'm a mortal, I'm inadequate, not enough. That's self-ignorance. And when you do that, it says, and when ignorance goes away, when this self-ignorance goes away, now, it's broods. What does that mean, broods? What does it mean by broods? Broods.
It's like a progeny.
Like breeding?
It's kind of
Yeah, it comes from breeding.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Let's say, like my children.
Yeah, a progeny, that's okay.
My children. And what is my children in this case? He's talking about his products. What are these broods? What are these products? Touchiness?
Experiencing it.
No, I become too touchy, that goes away. See what I'm talking about? I become too proud, that goes away. I become too anxious, it goes away. I become too afraid, it goes away. The false me that I created goes away. The false me that I created creates a whole lot of problems. That's what they call roots. In other words, the progeny, the children that I create. All of those goes away. Now watch this. In cause and effect situation, ignorance is a state, okay, state of mind. Ignorance brings about these broods of stuff. So the cause has its effects, right? The cause has its effects. Now you can deal with the effects in trying to resolve them, but you will not resolve if you don't address the cause. The effects will just take different things. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'll make a real simple example. Let's suppose I smoke, right? And I smoke, and that's something that's happening. Okay, let's just say, Now I say, okay, I'm going to stop smoking. And I stop smoking. But now I start eating. He said, what happened? Well, I took care of smoking, but now I better go back. Why? Because I'm getting too big. I said, you didn't address the cause. You addressed the what? The symptom. What is the cause of smoking? Well, look at where it's going. It's going in the mouth. You know, there's something there psychologically. There's a little packet right there that is causing this. Address that. Now, take away the cause. You know what happens? The effect disappears. Yes.
In PG&E, we had to go through the training. That's what they call it. I don't know how many people put that in practice. So one of the primary training when you go where the first level supervisor is root cause analysis. You go through the root cause of why somebody behaves the way they behave, or why somebody happens the way it happens. No matter what the effect is, go to the root cause.
Go to the root cause.
Yeah.
So, here, self-ignorance, as you were saying, it is rampant. Now, I cannot change anyone. But I better admit that there's a lot of effects out there that I don't want. So then, I want to take care of them. So I might make behavioral changes, let's just say that. You know, sometimes I used to use bad words all the time and insulting, okay? Always insulting. Okay, watch this. Let's just say, or blaming, or whatever. Blaming, okay, I say that. Now, I don't blame. Now, I keep myself, don't blame. I don't blame outside, but inside I blame.
Yeah.
See the idea? So I dealt with a behavior, isn't it? And look at that fellow, he doesn't blame anymore. He used to blame. But now God is ready to explode, my God, because he's blaming inside all these resentments. So Vedanta is not to address the, even though it is good to take care of some behavioral changes, but you better start taking care of the causes. And not there is something wrong with me. It is just a particular, pattern that was created because of whatever reasons. This is why I assimilated. Blaming was just blame, became like a mantra in my heart. And all I do is find fault. Now, I can deal with that in some way, but I better say, why am I always finding fault? How come such a sourpuss? American thing. And I had to really have the courage. That's why Swamiji said that this teaching is not for wimps. I had to have the courage to look at it. And then what is the mirror upon you which you look, the teaching is a mirror. You have to use the Shastra in order to be able to address those situations that are making me, and I say blame because all kinds of other stuff, talk about people all the time. Opportunity comes, criticizing, measuring, all this stuff. So where does it come from? How come I do that? How about if I knew that such and such is doing it to me? Would I like it? You see what I'm talking about? Then I say, well, I'm not going to do it anymore. But then it's a repressing thing, It's a repressing that thing. Before it blows up in another way. It's like a balloon. You press it here and it comes out on the other side. So why? Where is it coming from? So I had to, and I always come back, everything resolves back to the Atma. Everything is a brood of lack of self-knowledge. In other words, self-ignorance. So then I come home to the Vedanta and I take it seriously. I say, wait a second, who I am? I don't need to do that. And I remember my teacher said, Louis, you have to live up to the glory of who you are. He used to tell Indians, Hindus, it's still Indians,